Hey, the dude is back into the kitchen today, and we're going to be making some beef bone broth. First time ever. This is my new adventure. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is the Dude in the Kitchen episode. And I brought you guys into the kitchen because this is where the magic's going to happen. I have never made bone broth before, but I've been studying to find out how to do it and how to do it safely because I'm going to be making bone broth and canning it. And the guide is right here in this USDA cookbook or canning book. It's for safe canning because I'll be canning, pressure canning bone broth. I'll leave a link down below for this, along with a link for a pressure canner and other canning products for you guys to be able to enjoy the adventures of canning along with me. Now, on the 25th of August, 2025, some friends of ours, they butchered for beef. And they gifted me with a bunch of meat that nobody wanted. I purchased one of the beef, and it went to the butchers, and I got my selected cuts. But they gifted me the cheek, the tongue, the heart, the liver, the oxtails. And then when I had the butcher call me, I asked the butcher for bones, bone marrow bones, and soup bones. So I'm going to render these down and make beef broth. Yes. So I'm starting out with 2 oxtails. I got to cut them up, and then I actually got them ready to go in the oven. I'm going to put these in the oven and bake them at 350 for an hour. But halfway through, I got to turn them over and bake the other side. So these are ready to go in the oven now. My oven's all preheated. Don't they look good? I'm going to set this timer for 30 minutes. Timer 30. In the meantime, I've got my bone marrow. It's a bone full of marrow. I haven't looked at these yet. So this is what it is. It's full of marrow. So I'm going to drop this into my crock pot. Take the lid off. Set this big bone down in there, and they split the bone for me. Isn't that wonderful? So we're going to set that right down inside there, and we're going to set some soup bones down in there. Then I'm going to bury it in some water. Just cover it with water. Now here you have the option of putting apple cider vinegar in there, but I'm choosing red wine vinegar, 1/4 of a cup. And what this vinegar is going to do is go in and help break down the collagen in those bones and get that collagen released into the broth. Then I'm going to cover it and let it sit for the hour, because in an hour when those pieces are done, the oxtails are done, we'll go ahead and add this to it, and then we'll lock it in place. But I'm adding a bunch of vegetables. Now over the weeks, I've been saving up a whole variety of vegetables: onions, onion skins, squash, all kinds of vegetables in here. Now those vegetables won't be rendered for eating. I'm going to use them for something else. When we get to that point, I'll explain to you guys what I'm going to do with the bones and the stuff. We're only using the broth, but those oxtails have a bunch of meat on them, so we may end up harvesting some of the meat and making oxtail soup just with the meat and vegetables. That's another episode. So this crock pot, I'll go ahead and leave a link down below so you guys can purchase a crock pot. This crock pot was a gift. I got it free. It was gifted to us by none other than Marty Rainey with the hit TV show Homestead Rescue. That's right. They're getting ready to launch a whole new season coming up September 23rd of this year, just a week away. So I wanted to promote the show. My family is in 4 projects with the episode. Our first episode was the episode we were gifted the crock pot with. It was season 2, episode 2. It was called Honey, I Torched the Homestead. Matt Rainey in the storyline took my son Jeremy out to Fort Vanoy down in Grants Pass, and they went hunting. They hunted some Canadian geese, or Canada geese, brought them back, and then we processed the Canada geese, and then I made this really super great stew. They realized we didn't have a cooker, so they went down, and one of the producers went down and purchased the cooker for us and a bunch of vegetables. I threw it together, I cooked that thing up, and then at the end of that show, at the closing scenes of that show, Honey, I Torched the Homestead, we were sitting around on the back porch enjoying the stew, the goose stew, and they just loved it. Well, they mentioned it, and they mentioned it again in our latest episode called Homestead and Chill. That aired Christmas Eve, year before last. But we had another episode that it was a special we did between them, and that was called Savage Wilderness. Hey, I'll go ahead and leave links right down below so you guys can click on those, and you guys can rent the video, the show, each episode that we're in. You could stream it from Amazon, so you'll be able to see the scenes. The one show, the 4th show, it was actually the second one. It was a very short episode, and it was called Homestead Hacks. I personally have not seen Homestead Hacks, but I knew about it. I heard about it. So anyway, the Rainies are busy. They are launching a whole new season, and it airs. It's already in the can. It airs coming up next week. September 23rd, so, mark it on your calendars. Homestead Rescue. I think this is season 13. So that's the interesting story about this little cooker. It's just not any little cooker that just didn't appear on my countertop. No, this was special. We've had it since 2017. January is when we filmed our episode, and that's when they purchased this for us. Nice gift. So now I have an opportunity to be able to use it with my recipe of making beef bone broth, and we'll be canning it. This is going to be it's going to take about 3 days to film this one episode. Okay, we're back. The alarm just went off, so it's been in here an hour. I did turn it halfway through. So we're going to turn the oven off. And I have to remove the roasted oxtails. Roasting for 1 hour at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Take this off, set it aside, and I gotta scoop out some of this water. Now we just load the pot with the oxtails. So before I go, I want to get some of this stuff out of this pan. Pour a little bit of water in there. And I'm just going to take the juices from that pan and stick it in here so we can get the extra goodness. There you go. Now, for those of you who have been watching my Dude in the Kitchen series this month, you'll note that I've been saving all my vegetable scraps So this is where I use the vegetable scraps. I just put it right in here. And the cooking process will extract all of the flavor and nutrients out of the vegetables. Because we got garlic, we got onion, we got all kinds of vegetables in there. So I'm going to save the rest of this for another batch, because I've got plenty for a whole nother batch. In fact, I got so much stuff to make bone broth. I'll probably be working for 2 weeks straight making bone broth. Okay, at this point I'm going to secure the lid down on it, and the lid does lock in place. Plug it in. And the instructions call to turn it on low. So we're going to cook it on low, and according to USDA, we're going to cook it anywhere between 18 and 48 hours. Now, the reason why you want to cook it between 18 and 48 hours, depending on how potent or how strong you want the flavors to be in your juice. Now, we're going to render this down. We'll get the juice out, get the fat off, and then we'll do that when we get back. It'll probably be, I'll probably leave it for 48 hours, 2 days. So I will see you guys in a couple of days. Okay, I'm back. It's 44 hours later. Yes, this bone broth has been sitting there for 44 hours. So let's move the bones over to a pot and let's filter the broth. I'm going to turn it off and unplug it. Oh, yum. We got the broth we got the bones and the vegetables to get out of there. Look at all the meat has cooked off the bone, and hopefully a lot of the collagen has cooked out of there too. See, there's an oxtail. It's got a lot of meat on it. So we're gonna collect that meat, and I'll probably make a meal out of it. I just hope I got a lot of broth. Yep, I'm just thinking through this. There we go. We'll get as much juice as we can out of that. Let's see how those big marrow bones did. Oh, look at all the marrow is gone. Look at that, completely hollow. I know where that marrow went. I'm thinking oxtail meat with some noodles and maybe mushroom gravy. What do you think? Now, mind you, this is a new adventure for me. I've never made bone broth before. Now, the bones, we're going to save those back, and this later this fall, when it's safe to, we're going to actually burn the bones and turn them into bone meal for the garden. We're not going to waste anything, folks. Nothing goes to waste. Yeah, I think I'm only going to get 1 pint of broth out of this. Maybe. That's okay. I've got a lot more bones to render down. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to go with that for right now. And while that's dripping out of there, I'll set it in this pan. Look how much bone broth I got right out of that. So I got a saucepan right here, and I got a sieve, and I got a cheesecloth, and we're going to filter that broth right through that cheesecloth. And try to get as clear a bone broth as we can. Now my goal is to try to get as clear of a bone broth as I can. So we lift this up, we pour that in there. I might get more than a quart there. Not bad. Or more than a pint, excuse me. I'm going to do a balancing act here. Just like that. Let that finish dripping in there. Just like that. Okay, we're done with these. I like to clean up my mess as I go along. The pan, after this gets dripping, we're going to add this stuff back into the crock pot, and then we're going to do another thing of bone broth, but I don't think I'll go 44 hours. I think I'll just go the 18 hours, just try it that way. So my first effort at bone broth. Now there's a lot of fat in there, so we got to set it in the refrigerator, let it cool off. And then the fat will solidify, or the tallow, and float to the top. And then we scrape that off, and then we refine it just a little bit more to get better clarity on it. So we don't need this right now. We're going to do that tomorrow because I'm leaving that in the refrigerator overnight. So there'll be another day of rendering. But in the meantime, I'm going to clean all this up, pick the meat out, and make a meal, and then save the bones aside for making bone meal for the garden. That's what our ancestors did. They didn't let hardly anything go to waste. So I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll go to the next step on canning the broth. Okay, this is the final phase of making bone broth. Remember, I set the pan in the refrigerator overnight. Yeah, this is the 4th day of this process. So let's get that pan out of the refrigerator. I wanted to make sure that all of the tallow or the fats in the broth would solidify and rise to the top, and they did exactly that. So let's go get the fat removed, and then we'll bring this to a boil and we'll start canning. There you go. Right there. So look how thick that fat layer was. Yes. So we're going to remove all the fat layer. And I'm not sure. I might end up just putting this in a Ziploc bag and freezing it until I can figure out the process of going on another adventure in processing tallow, because I can take a hardwood ash and take that ash and render it down into a lye and mix it with the tallow and make homemade soap. I might do that. I just might do that. Because look how much tallow I've got there. Now, there's a lot to go with, so I might do that. Yeah, just put it in a Ziploc bag and then stuff it in the freezer. I'm going to set this aside for now, and I've got my canning jars cleaned, and they're in here getting sanitized. In the meantime, I've got to turn the heat on this. Look how much that gelled. Ooh, that's nice clear broth. Look at that. Interesting. I haven't even tasted it yet, so we're going to turn the heat on. And then the instructions. Now I'm following the guidelines of my canning booklet, the USDA home canning book, so I can make sure I do this adventure safely. So it just says bring it to a boil and then sanitize your water, your storage jars. I'm doing pint jars. And the recommendation for pint jars for this style of pressure canner. Now this is a Zavor. A Zavor pressure canner and cooker. So it's got, like I showed you before, but I was wrong on the measurements. Number one setting is a 10-pound setting. Number two is the 15-pound setting. For our elevation, they want us to pressure can it on 10 pounds for 20 minutes. So check with your elevation and how much weight you're going to need for whatever product you're canning with. I particularly have the Zavor, or yeah, the Fagor Duo pressure canner cooker. That's where the Duo comes in. It does both. So it's melting already and liquefying. I might get 1 to 2 pints out of this. Not bad. But I have many more bones to go through and render down into bone broth. Now, I've seen where some people can get multiple renderings out of one set of bones. They've said that they can get up to, well, for a good quality broth, they can get up to 3. And then the 4th one they use as a broth to pour over their dog food. So I don't have a dog, so I think I'll just try the 3 renderings of the bones. And then, of course, like I said earlier, we're not going to throw the bones away. We're going to incinerate the bones to ash and use it as bone meal for the garden, just as a reminder. So we're waiting for this to come to the boil, yet still coagulated. That's all that collagen that's in the bone. I think we got good quality beef. And I know where my beef came from. They were black and white beef that were raised on, well, here's a video of the pasture that I got. These, my friends they own a huge reservoir, and the reservoir is fed by a spring bubbling up out of the ground. And guess where that spring is fed from? Crater Lake. Yes, the famous Crater Lake. It filters down through lava tubes and the geologic formations under our mountain ranges, and then it bubbles up everywhere. On the place we used to live, we had a spring bubbling up out of the ground, and yes, it came from the same place. And this one, it feeds their whole reservoir. So the cows not only had fresh green grass to eat on, they were also had a ready supply of a closed water system from fresh spring water. That too, and all their agriculture was watered from the source. So these friends of mine, they did not inject hormones or any other thing in these cows. They're just straight grass-fed beef. And now I know the quality of meat I got in my system or in my freezers and the quality of broth I'm making. You can't get this just anywhere. So we got really blessed with this. So I'm just waiting for my jar water to come to a boil and then this to come to boil. But the jars I want boiling for 10 minutes. That's standard time for sanitizing jars for canning. And then the broth, they said, just bring to a boil and dispense into hot jars. So we'll be back when everything comes to boil and we'll start filling the jars, then we'll go through the canning process. Okay, these have been boiling for 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. The water's hot enough. The broth has come to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down on a simmer. And now comes the fun part. Let's remove the 4 jars I have in here. Hot. Yeah, I think I only get 2 jars out of this. Now I need to remove a lot of this water from here because I only need 2 inches. Just 2 inches of water in there for pressure canning. Okay, that's 2 inches. Okay, I gotta get my rack out of there and park it up here where it needs to be when I place jars in there. That water's hot. Yes. All right, let's see about distributing this equally in 2 jars. One-inch headspace. Let's go to there for right now. Ooh. And you know what? There's just a little bit left over. I think I'll put this in a cup and drink it myself. Full of collagen. That way I get a taste test. Now, since this is a fat product with fat in it, I'm gonna get some vinegar on a paper towel, wipe the rims of the jars to make sure the lids get a good seal so there's no debris that would compromise the seal. Don't want to compromise the seal. So here's my lids. They've been sitting there protected. They've been washed, rinsed, and set aside. Finger tight. Whew. And then place them in the canner. All right, we're ready to can. 20 minutes. Turn the heater on back again. There we go. Put my lid on. Lock it down. Lock the lid. Wait for that to come on. And then when it starts steaming, a good solid pressure steam out of there, count 10 minutes. That'll push all the air out of the chamber. Then we'll put it over to level 1 and we'll can it for 20 minutes on 10 pounds of pressure. While we're waiting for that to come up to a boil, I did take the tallow and I put it in a Ziploc bag and I labeled it tallow. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to render this. And I'm really interested in making soap, but that won't be until sometime this winter because I want to go select some hardwood. We have two sources of hardwood right here on the farm. One is madrone and the other one's oak. So I might take some madrone because I have a dead madrone I got to cut up. We'll burn that, and we'll also burn the bones with it too, but I'll select some hardwood ash, and then we'll render it down into lye, mix it with a tallow, and add an herb. I got some growing in the front yard. It's lavender, so I'll make some soap. And I can hear that boiling already, but I'm going to do a taste test now. That is good. I didn't add any salt. It's just those vegetables and the bones and water. That's all I have. Good, healthy, and wholesome, because the vegetables came out of my garden. So everything, yeah, local. Lip smacking good. Let's watch the boil. Okay, it just came up. We're gonna wait for full steam, then we'll count 10 minutes. Okay, I'm at a full steam, so I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes. So now we'll be back when the 10 minutes is up to switch it over to the actual canning time. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got less than 2 minutes to go, and we'll switch it over once it's done, and I'll guide you guys through canning with these things. It's interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with mine. Also, earlier in the program, I shared with you guys that TV show we appeared on multiple episodes on Discovery Channel, and it airs over on Animal Planet. It's having their 13th season premiere coming up on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. And I found that on discoverygo.com, you can actually right now watch the features for free. I'm going to go ahead and leave links. As long as they're available, you can watch the 3 main programs that we're in for free. Honey, I Torched the Homestead, Season 2, Episode 2. Savage Wilderness, Season 6, Episode 101. And then we were also Season 11, Homestead and Chill. That aired Christmas Eve, 2023. So I give you guys a chance to go click on those down below and watch them for free as long as it lasts, because they don't keep it free viewing. But otherwise, I will leave links that you can go stream it at a small fee from Amazon. So hope you guys watch it and enjoy the shows and see where we came from and how we got here. Yeah. Anyway, we got 6 seconds left, and there's the beeper. So I'm going to turn this to 1, which is the USDA recommended weight to pressure cook 10 pounds of weight for 20 minutes at our elevation. Now I'm not going to start the time until this starts steaming here. And it shouldn't take long. So once we get it up about 5 minutes into the process, I got to reduce the heat down a little bit on this canner. So you can save fuel on using a pressure canner. And pressure cooking, oh my God, this thing is wonderful. I've thrown a chicken right out of the freezer, frozen solid, right through and through, threw that into the pressure cooker. In 45 minutes, I had chicken falling off the bone. But about 30 minutes into the process, I went ahead, opened it up, and I threw my vegetables in, closed it back up, and let it pressure cook for another, 15, 20 minutes. And it's just like we had a full meal within 45 minutes, frozen to fully cooked. And it cooks, all that pressure cooks the juices right into the foods. It's just, there's nothing like it. It's just wonderful. So we're still waiting on this to come to a full steam before I start my time. And oh look, it's there. So let me start my time. Timer, 20 minutes. So I'm going to let that steam continue for about 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and reduce the heat. About a medium high is what my stove reflects to be suitable for, reducing the. I don't want to cook this on full heat the whole 20 minutes because it doesn't need that much pressure, and I don't need to waste that much fuel. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. We're going to adjust the heat down a little bit. Right about there. And now we'll let it go for the remaining 15 minutes. Okay, we're down to our last minute. Now we turn the stove off. And I'm going to let it de-steam like this naturally. Just let it stop steaming naturally, then we'll turn it open and let the rest of the steam out on its own. Now we know there's no more pressure left in the pot when this little button goes down. Once that goes down, then it's safe to unlock it and open it up. Okay, now I can't stress this enough. When you're opening a lid from a hot pot, always open it away from you. See how that steam comes off? You don't want that flash burn in your face. Oh, the jars look wonderful. Now we just wait for the lids to pop, and that would indicate a properly sealed product. There's one that just popped. This one. Well, now that concludes this long episode. It was a long episode for me because it took me 4 days to produce these 2 pints of bone broth. Yes, first time ever. So I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Dude in the Kitchen episode with making homemade bone broth. Yes, I've got bone broth and I've got a story on Homestead Rescue to share with you guys. So check out the Homestead Rescue episodes down below if you're interested. And then, yes. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Hey, give us a thumbs up. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out. Remember, be safe. Always be kind. My next adventure is going to take 6 to 8 months to film. I've got new winemaking equipment, so I'm going to be harvesting grapes, processing them, and turning them into vino. Yeah, don't miss that episode. It'll be next year. Yeah. Quality. Be safe, always be kind. We'll see you guys in my next show. Bye-bye now.